Hello, welcome to this week's How's the Market, Pensacola. Well, we're into December. It doesn't feel like December outside. It's like 70 some odd degrees, but I guess, welcome to Florida. Looked over some news earlier, actually have seen some mortgage news come out. Just looks like refinances are continuing to decline. So that refinance boom that we saw has actually continued to decline. Now it's going to be curious to see if that continues because of, as people are coming out of forbearances, one of the options is refinances. So I wonder if the banks are going to start to refinance, but I think there's some incentives for them not to. I know that there's some incentives for veterans now that came out October. I think I've talked about this on the show a couple of times, to where VA is actually taking what you missed in forbearance, paying it, and then putting a second lien on your property for that amount. Now, the good thing is there's no payments due on that lien and there's no interest accruing. They do want their money back if you sell the property or refinance it, but they're paying that up to bring you current. And then there's also some combinations I've heard of modifications, all kinds of things. So I wonder if that refinance is going to uptick again as people continue to come out of modifications because of the equity that we have in properties. But as it sits right now, purchases, mortgages outweigh refinance drastically. So, but we're not in the mortgage, although we are kind of in the mortgage business. I do have a mortgage license. I can do mortgages. I just don't do them all that often. I do them just for a couple of clients. Usually just refinances is all I do. I don't believe that someone should be both the realtor and the mortgage person in a deal. Instead, I think that's two entirely different jobs. VA and FHA stopped me from doing that, 2011, 12, after the crash of '08. They stopped it. But conventional still let me do it. So I can do it. I just choose not to. About the only time that I am both the realtor and the mortgage person on the same deal is if I'm the buyer. So I do my own, but besides that, I don't do them. So if you've got questions about mortgages, reach out. I know the right people to talk to. I just probably am not going to be the one that does it because I am more on the real estate side. What impacts real estate? Inventory levels. We are in this slow season. This season between Thanksgiving and Christmas right now is definitely a slow season, and a lot of people are hesitant to put their property on the market. I'm wondering how that's going to change in January. But as we sit the first week of December here, let's take a look. Let's go. All right, if you've never seen the show, you don't know that I always start with this slide right here. It says if you have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, you have what's called a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months, if I can talk this morning, considered a seller's market. What the slide doesn't say, anything greater than 9 months considered a hyper buyer's market. Anything less than 3 months considered a hyper seller's market. We jump over to Escambia County to begin with. Looks like everything here, except for the luxury, is a hyper sellers. If you've never seen the show, over here on the left is the list price. On the right is the month's inventory. So we know that makes that first slide make sense. We know that everything's pretty much a hyper sellers. The closest thing outside of it, it would probably be the $500,000 to $550,000. That one looks like it's 2.2 months. But besides that, no, it's pretty much a hyper sellers. And again, and I've had this point out a couple of times with people, the 100% to 101% list sale ratio. So this line right here is what things are selling for. Now, I have had some people point out that the $50,000 to $100,000 goes down to 92%, 92% to 94%. And I've pointed out on the show a couple of times that that is mainly because of some damage to the property. But I noticed that 100% to 150,000 dropped down to 98% to 100. I think there was just a couple of properties that fit that same category under 100 to where there was just damage. So that's where we're at. As you look 150,000 and on, all the way up to 450,000. So 150,000 all the way up to 450,000. actually selling for 100% to 101% of list price. Pay attention to that on both sides of the equation. As a buyer, don't come in offering 80% thinking you're going to get it. I've got a couple of buyers right now that we had to have tough conversations with because they qualify for, let's say they qualify for 275 and they were wanting to look at properties at 325. I'm like, you don't qualify for that right now. Well, we may be able to talk them down. No, you're not. More than likely, you're not. Now, is that always the case? No. And everybody wants to point out the exceptions, but when you're looking at the market and things have been on the market for 3 days and you want to offer 75 cents on the dollar, you're just not going to get it. They're not even going to counter. I've had a couple of listings to where people have offered me 75 cents on the dollar and the property's been on the market 55 days, 60 days. It needs some work. And they're offering 75 or 70 cents on the dollar and the seller's not even countering. Literally, they're not even countering. So just pay attention to that. And as a seller, you don't have to. I mean, obviously, if there's time crunches and there's all kinds of aspects that need to be there. And if there's a huge time crunch, let's talk about maybe an instant offer, which, pay attention to the very end of the show. I'll explain what that works. But it doesn't make any sense for us to come in and offer anything way under what they're asking. Now, what this slide does not pay attention to is maybe concessions. Like I had a couple of veterans that come in. Yes, they offered 101% of list price, but then they asked for 4% back to close, cover closing cost. So now they're truly getting in the property, zero money down. Okay, well, that makes sense. Maybe we can do that. But don't come in 75%. It's not going to work. You're just wasting your time. Let's jump over to Santa Rosa County and see what that looks like. It looks like over in Santa Rosa County, everything is a hyper sellers, has been for a while. We're up to 311 active, which is slightly above where we were last week, but not much. And everything, again, is selling for 100%. That $100,000 to $150,000, 96 to 98%. I actually have something in here that went under contract, and we went 101%. We went 101%, but I think we're paying 2% towards the closing, so we're technically 99% or 98 or whatever it was. But yeah, it's still, again, I had some people, as soon as we come on the market, there's some companies out of Orlando, and I tell all my sellers this. There's a company out of Orlando, and there's another company out of Tampa Bay. I think they write 500 offers a day. I don't know if they just auto-generate them, if they can have the system just auto-fill everything in, because they're full contracts, like somebody sit down and typed it all out, but it's like 60 cents on the dollar. I put something on for $100,000, I'm going to get an offer at $60,000 probably within a week. I put something on at $200,000, I'm going to get an offer for $140,000 within a week, or $120,000, I guess, in a week. It's maybe they just generate so many of those offers, some people take them. But again, if we're going to talk about that, you might as well look at the instant offer program that I have. So that makes no sense. But anyways, everything over here, we're, again, 311 in Santa Rosa County with the most actives sitting in the $400,000 to $450,000 range. There's 55 properties in that range. I don't want to just focus on list to sell ratio. Those are 55 properties in that range. You call me up and say, hey, I'm qualified for $225,000, so we jump up here to the $200,000 to the $250,000 range. There's 18 properties total. Again, some of this is seasonality. Some of this is market, some of this is seasonality. But I can send you all 18 of them. If you're under 200,000, you're between 150 and 200,000, I can send you all 11 properties. We can take a look and see what's there. And that's as of the run of this report. I guarantee you some of these are already under contract because that market is just very, very quick right now. So that's our numbers. I'm going to try and keep these short over the holiday because I know you got things to do, Christmas presents to buy, Hanukkah, what's the other? Kwanzaa? Yeah. Whatever the holidays. All right. For me, it's Christmas. But I know we got stuff to do. I do always end the show, though, talking about that instant offer program. Yeah, I know I mentioned it a couple of times during the show this week. So if you don't know what that is, basically what that program is, people have called me up and go, Shane, I need to get out of a property fairly quickly. There's usually some damage or something needs to happen, and I need just an instant offer. Most of them have been working out as been inherited properties. So we take a look at this from two different ways. A, I can say, this is what I would offer you as an instant offer to buy your property and close, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever your time frame is, as long as we get title back and make sure that there's no problems there. Because I've been seeing a lot of title issues that need to be fixed. So, okay. So I can give you this, or we can put it on the market and see if you can get more. A lot of people like that. Now, the people that have been successful this year actually using the instant offer program, well, I say there's 2 of them been successful, because a couple of them have said, listen, I need to be gone in a week or a week and a half. And so this offer makes sense. It makes sense for all parties involved, and they move on. Another factor, though, I have seen, and I have done 8 properties this way. I've offered an instant offer, and then, like I said, we tested the market to see if they could get more. And if they did, they knew this was their floor. They knew that whatever I was offering as an instant offer, because I got a conglomerate of investors behind me, whatever we're offering as an instant offer, that's their floor. If we can get more, I always joke and say, listen, if I can make you more money, you're just going to be mad at me. Sorry. Not sorry. But if I can make you more money, great, we'll do that. If not, you know that in 4 weeks, because most of the time people say, hey, let's test it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If we don't get it, we'll just take the instant offer and move on. Cool. Now you know what the floor is. And if that makes you happy and you have a chance to make more money, well, why not? That's the difference between my instant offer program and a lot of the folks out there, because a lot of the folks out there having an instant offer are just investors. They only want to take this. And then there's other realtors out there that only want you to list. They don't want to give you that floor. So if things start coming in below what that floor would be, well, they've got the listing. So when I can offer both sides of that equation, it seems to be working out really, really well for all my clients. The folks that have taken me up on that seem to be very happy. We've got 2 of those under contract right now as we speak, and I've got 3 phone calls I have to return today after shooting this. So anyways, first week of December, Pearl Harbor Day is coming up. I've been on those hallowed grounds many, many, many times. Did a lot of re-enlistments on the Arizona Memorial because I was stationed out there a few moons ago. I can now say the words decades ago. A few decades ago I was there. I'm old. I don't want to see that. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. I'm a man on a mission. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?